in the acolytes, and we had to be there early. Father Young was very intent that we be on time, and that the training we had as acolytes, that everything was to be done in respect and reverence. I think Father Young taught me a lot about reverence in that experience.
I guess one of the other things I think about was the pancake supper, because the men's club always ran the pancake supper, and I got out of high school just as quick as I could, ran down to the church, because I was in charge of making coffee in that great big coffee urn. One of the first things I thought about was Teen Town, because Father Young felt there was nothing for the kids to do on Friday night. So he started a Teen Town where they could get pop and they could dance to records and things like that. Also, I was thinking of Canterbury Club, because originally the Canterbury Club met down in Bunnell Hall, the old church, and they usually had some activities there. We got out of the high school meetings with Father Young, and we usually would join the Canterbury Club for evensong in the church.
The thing I remember about Father Chuck Young is he had a number of young people out of the college ministry that ultimately went into the priesthood. And many of them stayed here in Colorado. Others went other places.
The church has always been such an important part, this church, Trinity, because I was baptized, confirmed, married, and then the church blew up.
I was 9 years old when the church blew up in March 1963. It was after a Boy Scout meeting, and my dad, Joe Boshinsky, was still in the church, although all the Boy Scouts had left. The new bronze doors that had just been installed were blown off the front of the church. Dad, and I believe it was Mr. Watson, picked up the doors and carried them across the street to the sidewalk in front of the bank to save them from further damage. The following day, it took several men to lift the doors. I guess it was the adrenaline rush, or perhaps God's grace, that gave my dad and Mr. Watson the strength to move our beautiful doors.
I thought, my goodness, I was in real estate, and anything west of 35th Avenue was still country, and it was sitting out there all by itself. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is not going to be very good. We're all by ourselves out here.
When we came in 1969, I had never been in such a magnificent church building, and so it was quite impressive to me to be able to attend there.
At that point in time, the prayer book was in the process of being changed from 28 to the one we're using now. And Father Don White was going to be the rector, and I called Bishop Fry and I said, you know, it's going to be tough enough for Father White to come here, and then the first thing that he has to do is remove the 28 prayer book from the pews and put the others in. Why don't I do that? He said that would be great. So I was the one that, and the vestry were instrumental in removing the 28 prayer book from the pews and putting the new prayer book in. It did cause a little bit of consternation, and that's when I was 6'5", but I got beat down.
Well, that went hand in hand with the adding on to the parish hall and kitchen, because when we came here, the parish hall ended where that break is in the now present parish hall. And I just remember that specifically because our daughter Catherine was married that summer after it was completed, so there was actually room enough in the parish hall to have a big reception. I don't think Don had figured that he'd be involved in a building campaign or in a building project so soon after coming to Trinity, but there we were.
But as a vestry member and a senior warden, it was the first time that we had gone for a big capital campaign since the addition was put on. We prayed a lot, and we were able to finish the dream. Very lucky that we had Burdett Edgren had just retired, and that gave him something to do, and that was his love to do that. So we were very lucky to have him be our general contractor.
And then we stayed with artisans within Greeley, the Dragon Cash, and he designed all of the windows in the new north exit into the south. We received those windows for the church. They were not clean. They had a lot of flux on them. And my husband spent, probably a good month, I remember in January, cleaning all of those windows on both sides before they were installed.
It's just been a wonderful experience. Thank God it was a gift to have been part of it. And I just hope it gets bigger and better as we go. The church was aglow, I think, through the renewal period.
That was one thing that I really enjoyed. Because they're from the older you. Some of the priests were easier to serve than others.
Always a well-attended, active, beautiful music program. The entire spectrum, from the things of the organ, the choirs.
It came in shortly after the new church was completed, and I can remember they had to crane the console from the center aisle up and into the balcony. Wow. And at that point, the console weighed a tremendous amount. It's much lighter now because it's electronic.
Here was a mission, and at the time, there were only 20 units of affordable housing in Greeley, and Father Middleton had come and suggested that Norm would maybe guide the vestry towards moving out in that area for affordable housing. And we've done over 300 GEDs out of there in its history, and after-school program for the kids.
I'd also add, Billy, that for the adult education, one of the most valuable courses we ever had was the Bethel Bible training program that Father Norm took us through a 2-year training survey course of the Bible.
As the years have gone by, and of course, very early, it became home. and I felt like it was home, and I think I treated it that way. It was family, and it's the building is part of that, obviously, but it isn't the most important part. It's the whole family feeling that you have with the community.